Gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Company of Heroes 2. We are the Gentlemen. I'm the Machine.
And I'm Mark on Hawk.
Our majestic players for today will be Kamfrenchie as our Soviet here on the left of... Nope, just kidding. Of Samoski Winter.
I was going to correct you.
And we were having some little pre-game banter. We were questioning the decision behind Kamfrenchie selecting an Su-76 bulletin.
And by questioning, we mean we're walking out whether or not he's on crack, and we're assuming he is. I mean, you really would have to be.
I mean, like, not only, don't get us wrong here, like, not only is it a question of whether he's going to build Su-76s, it's a question, does he want to actually invest in a bulletin for his Su-76s?
Also, I really hope we see them, just for funsies.
But so far, Kamfrenchie, he's a bit of a baller, because he's got on his double combat engineers. And I'm not really sure why. Maybe he really wants the wire. I mean, I think wire is something that's really underappreciated. Being able to wire off all of the heavy cover everywhere, it can actually be pretty detrimental to your opponent, especially on a map like Samoski, when there's actually a fair bit of heavy cover around.
Yeah, a lot of heavy cover in really strategic locations as well, especially with a lot of crossing routes as well on a map that is winter. Here, of course, can cross that ice. You do cap pretty fast as well, having their squads moving around. If you can hold on to them, it means more mine pressure and more repair pressure as well. Yeah,
having double mines are fantastic, because often you don't get the chance because your engineers are always repairing. Also, because Samoski has a lot of garrisons, having that flamer will be nice. And generally you can't go flamer against a Wehrmacht, just because you need those minesweeper, exactly. So we'll have to see how it pays off here. Generally, I think going for the second combat engineer, maybe after the third or fourth conscript, would have been a better idea, because you can't engage pioneers. Pioneers are just straight out better than combat engineers, unless you get ridiculous RNG on approach. The combat engineers generally don't trade well, and because there's no URA, you can't really go for the aggressive caps and decaps as much, because you can't just run away. Actually, engineers are getting shredded here, retreating.
Yeah, should be okay at that range. That's kind of the drop-off for those pioneers. But yeah, even if you're standing in heavy cover, you have to be pretty lucky to win that engagement, even if the pioneers are running up to you. Anyway, our opponent, we haven't actually introduced yet, playing as our Wehrmacht over on our right-hand side, will be Fahu.
Yeah, Fahu didn't get much attention because he didn't get crazy bulletins. He's got Ostwind bulletins. And that's interesting. That's very strange.
Yeah.
But that being said, Ostwinds are actually kind of viable, where Fu-76s, they're not. Conscript's going to be fantastic against these pioneers. Only one of them were actually behind heavy cover, so we weren't really getting much protection. Grenadiers are moving in. They're going to be the real combat troops here. Could be able to deal with those conscripts. They're behind heavy cover, but there's only 4 of them.
And no drop models through the neg cover either. So, that's a nice Molotov though, and pretty early coming out here for Kamfrenchie. He does have three conscript squads on the field, but that could cost him in terms of manpower for those medics.
The other thing as well is, because he's gone the double combat engineers, he's going to want to have those flamers, but going the really fast Molotovs will delay the flamers, which is a bit interesting. So let's see how he plays that one. We'll have a nice flank on the MG42. Going for the deep snow may give some time to reface it though, but Molotov will force it to pack up.
Reloading at the wrong time there. MG does get flanked. The Molotov does go down as well. No crits. All the models do survive, and conscripts securing the garrison here as well. So pretty much half map for both of our players here. Both of them going to try and hang on to their fuel for the moment.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kamfrenchie didn't quite have that garrison. It's such a great garrison for holding that fuel. Very, very open and big. Means rifle nades not very effective at clearing the garrison. Getting the cutoff now as well. So far, Kamfrenchie has a pretty good lead of the map territory. Fahu having a rather early medic bunker. Always nice to see.
Probably a good choice given those low health squads, especially the MG taking down to half health. Thanks to that Molotov. Hopefully we see the same from Kamfrenchie pretty soon. Is going to be going for that tier 2.
He has gone double MG though. How do you feel about that MG? The double.
I mean, double MG on a map like this, I mean, there is a lot of garrisons, but you do surrender a little bit in terms of map pressure. It's all about whether you can get the MGs into nice, viable locations. I mean, with Molotovs already on the field and several conscript squads, there's a lot of flanking opportunities there. So probably double MG this early might be a little bit early.
Yeah, I agree. And going for his tier 2, getting that out pretty soon. Maybe going for a Pigran squad. It's something we've been seeing a bit more lately since the Pigran buffs. in the last patch, going a bit less Grenadier heavy in exchange for a rather fast Pigrun squad can be quite effective. Molotov going through will force the evacuation into the flanking conscripts. Nice play from Kamfrenchie here, but having that line is actually really bad formation because it means the Grenadiers are all doing their close range damage, where only the rear, where half of the squad for the conscript isn't doing their max damage because they just don't have as much accuracy and rate of fire the further away they are. Rifle nade went through though, was dodged.
Nice dodge there coming out as well. It was one of those minimum range rifle nades, just like, is he in range, is he not in range? Can be quite hard to actually work out there. The MGs are going to start to force back the conscripts. CFR who can get control of his fuel again. The unlucky and love gunner there, always going to be the first to fall to those rifle shots.
Oh, he could lose that squad. Neg cover and the mine. The suppression will be enough to keep engineers alive. The MG may even wipe this one here, unless he gets unlucky. Walks away with that one. That's a recipe for disaster.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great mine spot, though. Having that spot there, you'll always hit a scout car.
Yeah, it would have been great if he got it down, but that was a very antsy situation. Conscripts making the MG run away, but now you do have the double MG play. You can use them to cover each other's arcs. Yeah,
you will do indeed. Trying to Ura around a nice positioning of the MG, giving no room for flanking. And there is the Pigrun squad coming out now for Fahu. A good response, because only having 2 Grens, he really does need to have that mobile infantry firepower, and Pigruns are way more mobile than what Grenadiers are.
Especially given how mobile Kamfrenchie has been being. He really loves these close range engagements. He's been going absolutely ham after not only the MGs but also Grenadier squads just looking for flanks here. Maxim will be almost wiping an MG. That does end up surviving. Doing pretty well in the building and not really a way for Fahu to clear it as of yet.
Fahu can afford the Flamer now, having the 60 munitions, but he is out of territory. When he caps the VP, he may just go for the Flamer upgrade to clear that out.
He's definitely going to need something here. He really doesn't have a way to deal with those guys. Yeah, you got the MG. Oh, there's the Flamer
right away.
Nice. Good move. Good move.
But even then, the Grenadiers cutting off the retreat. The Maxim may even get wiped here. Yeah, retreating, but through the Pioneers as well. Slowing down by the snow. This could be deadly. Loses the Maxim. Really not sure why he waited that long to retreat. That's 2 MGs and a Maxim. Fahu's going to have a lot of holding power for this territory and these garrisons.
Definitely will like that. Yeah, the MG wasn't actually being suppressed. The MG42, the Maxim was having a pretty tough time. I think it was focusing the Pioneers.
The Pioneers weren't suppressed either.
Yeah, no, and they were in the heavy cover as well, which does make it more difficult. Molotov goes into the church, half dodged.
Sort of.
Sort of, kind of.
Yeah.
It's a nice attempt.
Other than that, though, let's have a look at Kamfrenchie. He does have his Flamer on one of those combat engineers, and still, regardless of that wipe, he still has pretty much the entire map here. So we may see him rush a very early light vehicle, be it a T-34, be it a T-70. T-70 is generally not very viable, but let's have a look at the forces of Fahu. Only 2 Fausts, 3 MGs, P-Grens, and a combat on a Pioneer. And a T-70 could be deadly.
Oh yeah, not enough munitions really, and it was a nice work by Kamfrenchie. He recognised that probably not going to be any Taylor mines with that early Flamer coming out, so went for his Flamer first, and it also means, yeah, T-70 could have a fair bit of pressure with not enough money for Shreks or Taylor mines. Suppression coming out.
Pigren's going to be very, very powerful here with the MG suppression. Even the Pioneers want to get some blood with the Flamer, forcing the retreats now. Maxim in that garrison. And putting some mines out on the road. I mean, this is a really good mine placement here. These mine spots can be so deadly for catching those vehicles out.
Does give you a little bit of safety as well. If you have the top of the map covered by those mines, it can help with your vehicle placement, your movement through the middle as well. So Pigren's having some trouble closing the gap on these conscripts here. We'll need the help of that MG.
Running through the neg cover, though, may even lose several of these models. Staying at long range now, the Pioneer going to have some great damage. 7 kills already. Conscripts are getting very, very low. A little bit late on the retreat. Pigurans, can they chase them down on retreat? They will, but not going to be very effective. Actually, just kidding, against the wipe.
Wow, and they dropped the front model first.
That is the medium damage buff that we've seen on these Pigurans now. Kamfrenchie in a bit of trouble. He really needs to get that medium tank out because he's just so far behind now in that infantry firepower. 3 squads behind.
And elite troops being locked in here as well for Fahu. So that Tiger Ace is going to eventually be coming
man.
out. Oh no, not another Maxim. This is like the death garrison for Maxims.
And
Oh, that's going to fall.
And a perfect angle for the Pigrens here. They had the flank and will wipe the Maxim on retreat. That's going to be 4 MGs.
Does he want it? Does he want the 4th MG?
For Fahu, of course he does.
Of course he does.
Man, that's deadly. I mean,
That's a lot of MGs, man.
Kamfrenchie, what does he have? Where's his fuel gone? Oh, there's his tier 3.
Map like Smosky,
And
yeah.
now, I got to criticize that. Kamfrenchie's a little bit late because he has 110 fuel as the tier 3 is starting. He doesn't even have enough manpower. So his T34 is going to be late by probably about a minute or so, or 2 of what it could have been if he had that up in time. And considering he had 2 engineers, he definitely could have had that tier 3 up sooner.
And that time advantage really is crucial. You want it out for as long as
Now
possible.
losing the
Because
map.
look, there's a pack here, and he's lost the map, yeah. And once you lose the map against 4 MGs, you're in some serious trouble right there. So the pack is going to be moving out. We're going to have to see.
Wow.
That's a lot of infantry squads.
Yeah, I do like this fast pack coming out of Fahu because he did appreciate the fact that there hasn't been much map in his hands, and Kamfrenchie's had it for pretty much the entire time. So that medium vehicle is surely coming, especially because he needs it due to that lack of infantry left. So having that pack out will give him a bit of an edge. Maybe even going to be going for some Shreks on these Pigrens. Is floating almost 120 munitions, how much he needs. So I think having that the Pigren with the Shreks and the pack should be enough.
It should be. He does have a few ways to spend these munitions. Let's see what he does decide to go for. We've got some PPSHs coming out here, so Kamfrenchie is going to be locked in as well.
Got his
Advanced Warfare?
Yeah,
is
Advanced
it?
Warfare.
Yeah.
Gonna have his PPSH, his repair on his conscripts, very, very strong. For even a T70, actually, wow.
Oh, okay, wow.
Now, I actually do like this,
Yeah.
but I don't like how late it is. 12 minutes. It's so
Yeah.
late for a
Whole
T70.
65 heal.
Yeah, especially because the Shrek's going to be deadly when they do come out. If the T70 was several minutes earlier, it would have had a pretty large impact. But I think maybe that Kamfrenchie wasn't actually planning on going for the T70. He probably wanted to stall for the T34 call-ins, but then he decided that he can't because he's just lost the entire map. So out of desperation, he went for the tier 3. That's what I'm assuming.
And it could work as well because, I mean, excuse me, I think the reason he didn't go for the T34-76 is because at some point he needs enough fuel to go for the
Oh
T34-85s.
no, the engineers may get wiped here, but the LMGs are actually suppressed, so they won't get the wipe. Very nice suppression, and actually, where did it even come from? I don't even know.
I'm not even sure.
Was it a mine
They're
or
still
something?
being suppressed.
Mine suppressed. T70 on
Yeah.
the chase can be very effective against these MGs, especially through the deep snow. Meanwhile,
Everything's
Fahu,
being
he's
forced
losing.
off. He's losing
Oh,
this
that's
battle here.
why.
He had a lot of stuff back in base. Two
Yeah.
of his MGs, which I think were the 42s as well. The
Pigrens.
yeah, and the Pigrens were back at base as well. He just had a lot of infantry back at base, healing at the time. So a little bit unlucky in terms of timing there. T70 should go on the chase. He really needs to get some squad
Yeah.
wipes with that to make an impact.
I think Fahu was just actually microing this battle, that he wasn't really chasing that Maxim. He will actually survive this one. Definitely could have wiped that one if he was a bit more attentive, but this was a pretty big engagement, and he was obviously preoccupied there. Pretty big blob here. Pack is on the ice, so it's very vulnerable to being flanked here, and again, only 2 Panzerfaust. Going out for it now, he knows where the pack is, he sees the pack, and that will allow him to go in deep. That's one weakness of having your pack exposed.
Oh, it's another Maxim.
And the Maxim has actually escaped for now. T70 isn't going in just yet. Fahu, he can't see the T70. It's a little bit too late now. Going in deep, he has to avoid the Panzerfaust, but they're a little bit deep.
Maxim
Maxim
dropped.
was wiped. And may even lose the... Oh, loses the MG squad. That was a Veterancy 2-1 as well. Pack is going to be flanked here. It's just so vulnerable on the ice because it has a full arc around it where it can't actually have any shot blockers. Pickers in the building, though, are going to town. Loses another conscript squad.
Too busy microing this T70 right now. Fahu's going to be coming in as well. He's coming in with the MGs, and there's one Faust there as well. That T70 is going to be so careful, or at least get the wipe on the pack.
Yeah, well,
That's Faust range.
it will eat the Faust, but it may be able to back away because the pack is wiped. He can force off this blob here. Unless we have a Panzer IV coming out rather soon, which we don't just yet. The T70 going to do a lot of damage. We'll get recrewed. If he was staying still, trying
That's
to wipe...
AP. That's AP rounds.
AP rounds.
Is it?
Maybe.
Definitely, the MG's
No,
going to be
you need
facing
vet
up
one
now.
for it.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
he
do
wipes
need vet
it.
one. Does wipe the pack though. Wipes it again. That's the second time now. The T70 is going to absolute town here. Kamfrenchie's having a good time.
Oh,
Eats the
the
second
mortar
foul.
sinks
The
it.
mortar shot on the T70. 1 foul, 2 fouls, and a mortar shot there. It gets finished off. That's a
the
huge
APM.
blow.
That's it. And now that was
Yeah.
actually a really lucky mortar shot because the Grens had retreated away, so there was no more AT. The MGs in the mortars would have got taken very low to the T70, and he could have destroyed the pack just by firing at it. I think the one thing that that Kamfrenchie should have been doing then that he wasn't quite was if he didn't move his T70, it would have had more accuracy, because when you're moving you have less fire on the move accuracy, and for a T70 it actually makes a pretty big impact because he wasn't going to escape. There was no chance he could get out of that one, given that there has the Faust for the damaged engine that was already hit and the pack was still there. So he should have just stuck around and just tried to like drop as many models as he could and just left it stationary to ensure that it had more damage. T-34 can destroy that pack rather quickly, and I think that's what he's going to be doing here now.
He wants to go for it. Going for the MG at the moment, though, and yeah, that engagement was very close, and it might have been worth it for Kamfrenchie, but he lost conscript squads as well as that
that's true.
Maxim, so he was trading infantry for infantry, even though the T-70 had this perfect flank on the pack. Pack gets recrewed in time, so T-34 will have to back away. Probably should have gone straight for the pack and tried to destroy that.
That would have been nice.
Would have been nice to destroy it,
But meanwhile, Kamfrenchie retook the entire map.
He did,
so
yeah.
even if it wasn't exactly a very cost-effective exchange, now he's back in the territory and he will have the T-34-85 call-in rather soon, only having 1 command point, and he will have enough fuel for it by the time it hits. Meanwhile, don't forget, Fahu has the Tiger Ace available, not for 7 more command points, but Kamfrenchie is in a tricky spot because he needs to have a lot of AT by the time that Tiger Ace shows up, and T-34s, they're just not very good against that Tiger Ace. He will have to get a lot of mines and have some Zis guns set up preemptively. I made a post on code.org saying, how does one pluralize this? Because Zis's is just so awkward to say.
yeah, we've been saying it for a long time. What is
and
it?
someone suggested Zis guns.
Oh,
So I'm
that's
going to
nice.
say Zis guns.
Okay,
Yeah.
Zis guns. We're going with that. If I remember, I promise to stick with that. I do like it.
Because Zis just sounds silly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good job vaulting those combat engineers down the bottom to make sure they try and escape from the P-Grens. Didn't retreat through them. Nice to see. Map starting to be taken back now. T-34 being safe, but not safe from the pack. Does take 1 shot, not backing away just yet.
the
Goes in,
wrong
that's the
direction.
wrong direction.
He needs to go backwards. He will get out of it, but it will take up a fair bit of repairing time.
Oh, he's going to need another shot.
Yeah, it looks like he will
Pack's
here.
refacing.
He's getting in close to. He's got to be careful. Otherwise, the PPSH conscripts are getting quite shredded here. By the Flamer, we'll have to retreat now though. But he's behind the garrison with the T-34, so it won't take any damage. And retreating out that MG. He gets wiped by the Flamer though. Nice.
Indeed.
That's the first squad loss here for Fahu.
But the Grens are super close here, and they're just going to stop the flank. They wanted to get the Faust, but they might not get it now. T-34 is going to back away from the pack. PPSH is on the flank now, and they force off the MG and the Grenadiers. Successful engagement there.
That's the incendiary. Oh, that's a Sturmovik strafe. Not
sure
really
what he was
doing a
hoping
lot
to
of
get from
damage.
that,
It's
but-
cheap though. It's only
Yeah,
90
it is.
munitions.
It's not a lot.
I think he was just looking to bleed some damage or force away those units. Meanwhile, Maxim down here, that's the one weakness of the Maxim compared to the MG42 is your firing arc kind of sucks.
Definitely feel that sucks. So, 440 VPs here on the side of Kamfrenchie. 296 on Kamfrenchie. Going to get flanked again. These flanks really have been on point from Kamfrenchie.
Yeah, and I gotta say, it's been really great play by being behind in squads, but still having the map held. Wipes that MG.
Pretty easily as well.
T-34-85 is on the field now, retreating the Maxim through. It's quite punishing retreating through PPSHs, but they were suppressed, so they won't be too effective. And there's no territory anymore. Panzer IV hit the field, though. Panzer IV can't really 1v1 the T-34-85. And now that there's the T-34-76 as well, there's 2 tanks on the field. Panzer IV has to be careful, or at least just play around the pack.
Gonna have to play quite safe here. At least play safe and try and get some veterancy. Having a vetted up P4 can be very, very nice to supplement the damage coming out from that Tiger Ace. And it can stop you from getting flanks if the Tiger Ace gets caught by a mine, for example. It makes it a little bit harder to take out.
Double pack as well. Really nice response here for Fahu. to have as much AT to deal with those double tanks. There's going to be more and more T-34s coming in as well. AT grenade doesn't quite penetrate the frontal armor, so it will bounce off. Nice to see the upgrade though. We will need that. And considering how many conscript squads he has, a lot of AT grenades and a lot of repairs. Between the conscript repair and the double NGs, the T-34s should have very good map presence, even if they're not engaging that effectively. Because there's only the one squad of pioneers, there's going to be 5-to-1 repairs. So you can just repair and keep your tanks on the field. Engineers may get wiped in the garrison. It's rather low. A T-34 shot can destroy that building.
Yeah, I was firing at it for a considerable amount of time there, taking it down from about half health to where it is now. I was looking for the wipe. The Gren's pulsed it off though, and the packs have faced up now. So it's up to Fahu to keep this position where he is and try and recap that VP as well, still as long as he can for this Tiger Ace.
Fahu's in a bit of VP bleed as well here, only having 250. Kamfrenchie though, been very, very aggressive. Not many mines though on the field. There has been not a lot of munitions. You've got to bear in mind PPSHs and Molotovs. They are a rather munitions heavy playstyle. P4 will go onto the flank of the T-34. Doesn't have the support of the pack though. Happens to back away from that one. T-35s, they're a pretty big deal. Doesn't penetrate once again. Not that he could chase it though, given the double packs. T-34 in a bit of trouble here. Both of the packs can fire. Interesting positioning though, that one. Meanwhile, T-34's firing away on that garrison. Conscripts are being bled here by all of the MGs and the P4s.
Definitely is working. Pack's going to be moving up now as well. Does face up on the T-34. Gets one shot off at least. It's probably going to be facing up some more as well. Garrison's very, very low. That's a Vet 3 Grenadier squad. It might actually fall to the next shot. That garrison is so low.
Yeah, don't want to lose that one.
The other two members.
Retreats that one, especially given that's only one of the two Grenadiers, and not having any false, it does make it quite limiting to play against. Another Sturmovik will move in the T-34s by the looks of it here to force off the pack. Nope, not quite. It's a nice strategy, is if you call in the strafe or the incendiary onto the pack, you force it to pack up and run away, and then you drive in your tanks to wipe it, and then it's not firing because it's trying to retreat from the smoke, but then once it's moving, the T-34s go in deep and really try and wipe it. So, nice to do, especially with incendiary. Strafe, not so much.
Pretty big flank coming out here, but the pack was actually going to reface. Doesn't reface quite far enough.
Nice micro there by Kamfrenchie.
Nice. Very good movement thus far. Conscript's going to try and push up now, but they are running into a P4. MG on top is going to do a fair amount of damage, and they might run into this flanking Pigrin squad.
Pigrin is getting the Shreks that will be quite deadly for now. With the veteran seeds too, no AT grenades coming through, retreating away those conscripts. The Pigrin's such a strong counter to these PPSH conscripts, but now having the Shrek will lose a lot of their firepower. The P4 is doing so much damage, even the mortar as well, almost veterancy too.
Definitely is doing work here. Conscript's not really being moved in with those T-34s. T-34s playing pretty unaggressive. They're staying fairly far back, and that's going to be a Stug as well here for Fahu.
So it's going to be pretty effective, a very cost-effective way at dealing with those tanks. T-70
wow.
being rebuilt, and this is actually really interesting because Kamfrenchie, he knows the Tiger Race is coming. He's thrown out those stun grenades. Elite troops is locked in. So you would need as much AT as you can possibly get, but going for the T-70, it's a bit of a fuel sink.
Yeah, going to be running right into a Stug as well. Back away from those conscripts. Quite surprising.
Ooh.
Might actually get a wipe here. So if it gets a few wipes, it'll definitely pay off.
Nice.
Gets one. And it does mean that Fahu's going to have to block a little more than he was previously. You can't really send Grenadier squads out on their own anymore because the T-70 can deal with them extremely easily.
T-70s are also a lot better at wiping packs than what T-34s are.
Yeah. Faster fire rate.
But I think we'll need to see a Zis or two come out because two T-34s and AT grenades not going to be enough against the Tiger Race and a P4 and especially the Stug as well, even with the P-Shreks thrown in for good measure.
13 command points. We are getting quite close to that Tiger Race. Still going to be about saving up the manpower. Fahu is starting to do that, maybe a little bit early, but I mean, does he really need too much more stuff right now? It would be nice to see some more Pioneers coming out. He only has the one squad. GeneralsGentlemen recommend you have 4 Pioneer squads as a number, so...
yeah, I think 3 or 4.
More. 3 or 4 would definitely be nice here. All that strafe may actually take out the MG.
Almost, not quite there. Faces the wrong direction.
So it's the Maxim,
again.
so...
I think that was the...
It's the Maxim.
Yeah, the Maxim. Of course it was. Still get a nice angle, getting 4 kills already. Yeah, because of the manpower bleed on the Tiger Ace, it means that if you don't have the Pioneers before the Tiger Ace, then you either won't have enough repairs until you build more, or you won't have enough reinforced. Still going in rather deep here, gotta be careful. It won't have as good deflection against those AT grenades as the P4. Going in for it now, AT grenade, will it penetrate here? If it actually gets within range, didn't even throw it, so...
Negative.
Yeah, T-34 is trying to do some action here. P4 still rather low, only on half HP, again, only having the 1 Pioneer squad.
You definitely go into this.
Doing a lot of damage against the Pioneers, forcing them off. Pack facing the wrong direction.
Surprised the T-34s aren't going more aggressively. The P4's on about half health here, and they don't have to worry about the pack in the back lines. They are really just sitting back.
They are. They're playing passively.
Very passive.
Shreks have hit Vet 3, and that will give them great accuracy. They just don't miss when they're Vet 3.
So, T-34s, yeah, they're very, very passive. Seems to be a bit of a VP game being played by Kamfrenchie, but the issue with that is there's still quite a bit in the bank for Fahu, and the Tiger Ace makes it very, very difficult to play the VP game unless they're on about 2 VPs at the time the Tiger Ace comes in. So
I bet Kamfrenchie is feeling good about having that MG42. That'll teach him for taking my Maxims. Zis on the field, nice to see. Who will need that against the Tiger Ace? T70 as well will rotate down to the South VP and may even wipe this Maxim. So the T70 having good impact so far, only having 2 kills, but it's deterred that left VP, and it's wiped a Gren squad.
It's being used well.
Got to be off the ice, though. The mortar can sink it if it's not careful.
It's close to doing that as well. Mortar firing at the garrison. Has hit Veterancy 1, hit that a while ago, so we'll be approaching that Veterancy 2 fairly soon. So T70 does get in fire range now, that close deadly range.
Shreks are moving in.
They're going to be going on the flank here. T70's got to be careful.
He's just so close. He won't miss that.
So close. Yeah, he just doesn't miss the models here. Every shot is just connecting. The MG's just going to finish it off.
Also, you got to bear in mind the MGs have the received accuracy debuff, so they do get hit even more. Panzer IV will wipe the T70 if it connects, but it won't. Maxim may fall here, but wiping the MG, very good play. And it's also forced the Panzer IV out of position.
P4's going to be coming down as well. It's getting collapsed on by the T-34s. The Tiger Ace is available, though. P4's going to take it out. It's
Blitzkrieging in. Yeah, the P4 wasn't actually within range.
But it might get caught.
But he did pop the Blitzkrieg button, so he could close the gap with minimal effort. T-34s.
Oh, it's so gone.
Oh, rear armor on the Panzer IV. That is bad news. He will trade the T-70 for the Panzer IV. Definitely not ideal. And there is the Tiger Ace. T-70 good at baiting Panzer IVs. But we'll have to see if the tank preservation is going to be on point here for Kamfrenchie. 3 T-34s and the Zis. It probably will be enough to deal with the Tiger Ace, but not if the packs are nearby, as they offer so much DPS. No, that's a bad position to be in. The Tiger Ace gonna have so much damage. You can't really circle strafe the Tiger Ace because of that turret rotation and the movement speed. With the veterancy trying to disengage here, he's gonna have to retreat through that. Still, the rear armor onto the T-34 allowed the Tiger Ace to get the damage engine. There goes the T-34 85. And now I think the critical mass of T-34s has been thrown away for Kamfrenchie. We'll lose that one as well. Couldn't quite get the ram either. The Zis is moving, isn't actually firing. Veteran C2 onto the T-34, and the Zis is going in way too close. The Tiger Ace can circle strafe and wipe that one.
For days. Now the T-34 will be coming in on that Tiger Ace now. Actually destroys the carcass. This is actually be facing up here, and now we have the 18-8's going to be coming in.
And they're just bouncing. They don't penetrate consistently. The packs are doing so much damage, popping the smoke. Nice blocking with the T-34s, but the packs will take that one out. Zis is being wiped here, but there's so much merge potential. He can just keep merging that Zis. Tiger Ace actually getting pretty low here. He needs to merge the Zis, or it will get taken out here. It's so low! He lost, and now the Tiger Ace can destroy that one with relative ease. Will wipe the packs, though. But it won't even matter. If he doesn't kill the Tiger Ace, he's going to lose all of his T-34s and not have any way to deal with it. AT Grenade actually penetrates this time around, loses another conscript squad.
But there's no way he can win this 1v1. He needs to bait out maybe more AT nades, but it might not be enough, and he doesn't exist there anymore.
He's losing too many squads. Bear in mind, though, there's only one Pioneer, so he can just stall this one out. The Tiger Ace
doesn't penetrate.
Going to be very effective here, and there goes the T-34. Stug actually doing some damage off to the side here.
That is really unfortunate timing for the move there from Kamfrenchie. He went in with the T-34s just as the Tiger Ace arrived. He really should have been more careful.
Yeah, exactly. I think he could have even backed away if he just moved down
Yeah, he
rather
might
than
have lost
committing
one,
in.
but
It was an
yeah,
awkward angle.
It was.
And the things with the Tiger race is you don't always have to kill the Tiger race. You can just sort of play the VP game and just really abuse the fact that there is that manpower handicap, especially with how little infantry there actually is. There was so many MGs, a couple of packs, the mortar, and only really 2 squads. So he could have just spammed the VPs, and he probably would have been fine to hold those with the Zisses, the Zis guns, and the T-34s. So let's see if our Soviet here, Kamfrenchie, if he stays in this one. The Tiger Ace didn't actually wipe the Zis. It really should have done that. And the repairs will take a while. Actually hit Veteran C2. Will improve the repair time. It's going to be an absolute blessing for Fahu, who needs to have more repairs.
Yeah, second squad of Pioneers on the field as well. Definitely a nice choice there. Goes for the Stug first. Yeah, just unfortunate timing, I think, from Kamfrenchie. Really should have put a closer eye, I guess, on the VPs. To try and work out how many Fahu was actually on at the time.
And he didn't penetrate it like 3 times in a row with those AT grenades. It is a Tiger, so you kind of got to oorah for that rear armor if you want to actually penetrate. And even then, you're not guaranteed a penetration. It's the worst feeling in the world.
You're rolling the dice.
When you really, really outplay your opponent. You flank him, and then just your nades don't penetrate the rear armor. It kind of sucks. Still going to offer a lot of AT as well, especially with the target weak point.
That was, it was a big investment for Kamfrenchie. You have to remember that three T-34s, the last one was built just as the Tiger Ace arrived. So he's very low on fuel at this point. Goes for an M5.
Half track. Now this is actually interesting. It will give him the forward map control, that he can just really hold the points. But the Tiger Ace has been repaired. And I really don't see how Kamfrenchie can hold this one, unless he just camps the VPs. Double Zis can hold off against the Tiger Ace. Maybe getting some mines down would be, yeah. But even then, the Tiger Ace is just so strong against Zis guns from the front on. They have such good accuracy with that Vet 2 that they just wipe squads so quickly.
This is just not penetrating consistently, and even if they do, I mean, Panzer Tactician is going to be available. And that's assuming the Tiger Ace gets in trouble. No. That's a nice mine spot, but Tiger Ace says, no, it's not a nice mine spot.
Not the right timing at the very least. Only one Zis against the Stug, and the Tiger Ace will go through the past the arc. Doesn't even need to blitzkrieg. AT grenade doesn't penetrate the frontal armor. This looks like game over to me. Would lose the Zis. And it gets destroyed even, so he can't recapture that one.
Going to be facing up against the infantry squads now as well. Tiger Ace does pop the blitzkrieg, goes after the M5.
Rear armor.
Let's do it.
Reverse move blitzkrieg to chase down a half track. Now, there's a problem with your game if your Tiger reverse moving, your super heavy anti-everything death tank is faster than a half track when it's reverse moving. I mean,
half track's having a good time.
No, it does lose that one.
That was enjoyable.
Oh,
I enjoyed that.
I didn't enjoy that at all. And he will wipe the engineers.
Yeah, definitely. That's like an extra prize kind of thing.
Oh wow, may not actually.
When you find some more cluster like the bottom of your packet or something, it's nice.
He's literally chasing with
like
the Tiger Ace in reverse move.
It's good. Tiger Ace has a lot of fun with that.
Yeah.
The way I like to put it when you're feeling bad about the Tiger Ace is at least he's not getting more veterancy from killing
exactly.
squads.
Well, I lost all my tanks, but at least he isn't getting more veterancy.
It's a nice feeling.
Unlike the King Tiger.
Yeah,
I mean, you're like, damn, it's Vet 2 now. I've never seen a Vet 3 King Tiger though. It takes so long for them to vet.
I don't think I have.
I've seen a Vet 2 one.
Yeah.
But no, I've never seen Vet 3 or above. So I think that's one good thing is that like they take so long to vet, especially the walking Stukas. Like I saw like a Stuka with like 80 kills and it was like only Vet 3. It's like,
really?
What? How many kills does it need to get Vet 5?
Anyway, this does definitely look like game over from the looks of things here. Not really much that Kamfrenchie can do. So really, really nice early game. I think it was just a little bit unfortunate in terms of playing a little bit later. We'll just watch to see what this T-34 decides to do.
Yeah, he's just lost too many squads. He can still win the VP game, but not when you lose all your squads. I think Kamfrenchie, he wants to try. He's determined.
Here's from the looks of things here.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the Tiger Ace, you can kill the T-34s, but the packs make such an impact, whereas this is just don't really penetrate or fire fast enough. And with the mobility of the Tiger Ace, it's really easy to avoid the Zis guns.
Yep. So Tiger Ace might be engaging the T-34 here. No. So it's just going to chill back here. Yeah, definitely a good point. So Yeah, Kamfrenchie in the end, just a little bit unlucky with his timing moving in there. And VPs are just going to kick down here, and we get the GG coming out from Kamfrenchie.
Well, that was an interesting game.
It was, yeah.
I think more mines, and he did try to get mines,
Yeah.
but they just were a little bit off-timed.
And the stall definitely would have worked if he didn't decide to go in at the wrong time.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
getting a little bit impatient, and, you know, what can I kill before the Tiger Ace gets here, and it was already there,
Yeah.
so... unfortunate, but definitely a good game.
And that being said, it's actually really easy to hear the Tiger Race through the minimap. You can hear it the fog of war quite easily. It's
pretty
very
loud,
distinctive.
It's pretty obnoxious, yeah.
So one thing you can work on is if you are playing against the Tiger Race, or really just any Tiger, and you want to do a lot of damage, but you don't want to get caught out of position, just listen to the noise you hear it through. And then when you do hear it, just obviously just back away from it. Yeah, it is hard to deal with, but I think 3 T-34s which he had, and the Zis, yeah, it might have been enough. Anyway, that'll wrap this up.
I think it will.
Thank you for watching.
See you soon.
See you next time.